Alright, let's give this a go. Woo! Welcome in to game number 2 of the Platinum Ace match from CTL week number 4 between Team Anarchy and Team Guns and Roaches. I'm going to have to get rid of that. There we go. Okay. StarCraft. Beautiful. Alright. Team Anarchy leads the Ace match 1-0. This is best of 3. So if NiNKasi wins, then we'll head to a game number 3 of this Ace match. So anyway, spawning down here in the lower left-hand corner in the team color, playing for Team Guns and Roaches. He's down 1-0 in this best of 3. Can he bring it back for his team? It is NiNKasi. And spawning across from him in the upper right-hand corner. I'm just going to make sure I'm not muted. Oh, perfect. Anyway, up here in the upper right-hand corner in the green color, playing for Team Anarchy. He's up 1-0. Can he bring home 2 points for his team? It is ANA.xSvDGen. I've just been calling him Gen. I didn't see any corrections in the chat during the break, so I'm going to go Gen. Anyway, that was a ridiculous game last game. We saw Gen go for 1 racks fast expand into 3 command center into 4 factories of mech. And hold off against some pretty ridiculous pressure from Kasi. There were so many SCVs killed during that game, and it lasted 31 minutes, and we'll see if we have a very similar game. This is GSL Daybreak, which tends to lend itself to really long TVT games. The only difference between the latter version and the GSL version, you have a give expansion here rather than a full expansion, and the neutral depot at the bottom of the ramp. So we do see Gen is not taking gas yet, and neither is Kasi. So it's going to be another 1 rack fast expand versus 1 rack fast expand game. We do see Gen, yep, we go to this OC, and everything looking, exactly even for both players. Kasi is actually going to build a bunker inside his opponent's natural. Typically when you do see the block coming down, it'll be an engineering because that builds faster and actually has more hit points than a bunker. But this is just a little cute bit of harassment. I don't know why I canceled that. Oh, he's actually going to rebuild it. Okay. Well, he can at least leave that up as a little bit of a block for a while. Okay, he's going to cancel it again. So, cute little block there for Kasi. And he's able to get down his own command center a little bit before his opponent. We'll see if he can take advantage of that little lead that he's gained. He's following up the same way he did in game number 1 with a second barracks. And Gen, meanwhile, is going to keep floating minerals, and he's doing the same build. So, we have a matchup of the same builds. What it'll be telling is if he goes for double gas right now. Or if we see something a little bit different. But 3 command centers on 1 barracks is completely risky. It tends to be something you'll see more against Zerg, to try and catch people who are doing really greedy 3-base builds. But apparently it works okay against Terran, as this is the 2nd game in a row that he's done it. And we'll see if Kasi can take advantage of that, or if he sits back again. We do see he took a very quick double gas. He's only mining with 5 total harvest. Oh, there he goes. So we're up to 6 total harvesters in the gas. So this means that he'll be able to tech very, very quickly and put on a little bit of pressure if he wants to. Meanwhile, we see Gen. Is he going to make a 4th command center? I don't think so. It looks like he's just going to save up. This is the same build that he did. Okay. So he's going up to 4 gas very quickly. This is going to be the same build that we saw from him in game number 1. And we even see the barracks going to lift. He's got 6 Marines this time. He made an extra Marine. But other than that, there's really no change in this build. Kasi, meanwhile, already has the higher Marine count. He's got 8 to his opponent's 6. He's got 3 barracks going very quickly for that factory. And yeah, will we see the same game again? I kind of hope so. That was a really entertaining game. Gen, meanwhile, starting to saturate his natural. His second factory now on the way as well. We'll see the third factory pretty soon, I assume. He's got quite a few, or quite a bit of gas baked up right now. But there we go, Kazi. This is a faster tech up than he did game number 1, which might be his attempt to kind of catch his opponent, not necessarily off guard, but to try and punish his opponent for his build. Hopefully he was able to watch the replay between games, and that sort of good stuff. So we see Kazi actually did scan, he saw the third command center again, and he does need to start getting times in his mind. And again, this is very similar to what he did in game number 1. We have Bat Shield, we have Stim, we have Siege Tanks. We're probably going to see a reactor come down on the starport, and we'll see some medevacs. It'll be the same unit composition, Marine Marauder tank medevac with only just a smattering of tanks. There's actually another scan from Kazi, and he'll see the siege mode building. He sees what in all likelihood is 3 factories. So only 3 factories this time from Gen, and it looks like Gen's a little bit more worried about Banshees this game, as he's building 2 missile turret as well as the sensor tower immediately. And we see that's actually a reactor going down on the starport, so he's not going to be doing that at all. Stimpack nearly finished up for Kazi, throwing down an engineering bay of his own, 2 of them, so he'll get some early upgrades. And again, this is, yeah, we're watching the same game for the second time, basically. The big difference is that's a lot of tech labs. No reactors here, so he's not focusing too much on Hellions right now. Instead, he's probably assuming that his opponent will do an earlier attack. So this is, in order to compensate for that, you get up a lot of siege tanks, which will be able to hold a little bit better against pressure. You see Kazi is starting to move out. He doesn't have any medevacs yet, which is a little bit worrying for this army. Any stim that he does will be permanent. And there's 4 siege tanks right now, and we even see Gen actually kind of creeping them up a little bit. Kazi going down, looking for the 3rd base. It hasn't been floated down there just yet. And we see supplies very, very even, 77 to 74. And now Kazi's starting to move up. 1 siege tank and a troop of Marines. There he will zip him in, go actually just take a bunch of siege tank fire. Gen with the offensive GG already. And I can say that this game is probably not over by any stretch of the imagination. Daybreak has that way of things. But that was a lot of Marines lost for no damage. If we look, yeah. Just to go through the various tabs, that was pretty bad. We see Kazi adding on a 2nd factory. Looks like he wants to try to compete with his opponent's siege tank count, which isn't really going to work. Marine tank is actually completely bollocks against mech. Just for the simple fact that Marines don't take siege tank fire very well. Marauders take it a little bit better, and that's why they're so valuable to have against siege tanks. We see Gen is actually going to take the forward 3rd base, which is something that you do normally while you're playing mech, because it allows you to extend toward your opponent. And basically, we see he's even setting up a forward siege tank line. He can start moving up some more of these tanks, and just set up a really nice spot in the middle of the map, and just kind of draw the game out, and play very, very, very defensively. Kazi going for a 3rd base of his own, starting to mix up a couple of Marauders as well, and his 2nd and a 3rd factory on the way. So will Kazi actually try to go later mech, like delayed mech, and just kind of use these bio units as dropping material? Gen has Flame just finished, but we don't see any Hellions, strangely enough. And we see he's actually made more than enough supply depots at 114 of 193 supply. But Gen just making so many siege tanks. Oh. Mech is always a little disgusting in that regard. If you look, he's already got 12 siege tanks out. 2 more on the way will bring him to 14. There's a truck in the background that you're probably hearing. But yeah, this one looks like it's going to be the game that we feared would happen in game 1. Both players are going to sit back, Gen will max out, and then try to push with his mech, and it'll just be kind of a slow-cooking death, I imagine, for Kazi, unless he can make something happen before then. 4th base being taken, there's the 2nd sensor tower added on. That basically just telegraphs the fact that he's taking that base, to Kasi. And now Marines headed around just to check out, make sure that nothing going on. The base being taken by Kasi.